I have been waiting for this. It's been a minute, and I'm really excited to introduce you to the new season of the Catalyst Way podcast. If you've been a longtime listener, you know that this is a labor of love, and it's not even a labor. Like I tell my kids, stop doing something when it's no longer fun. And so I took a pause from the podcast for several good reasons. And in this episode, we're going to not only kind of talk to you about what to expect and not expect in this new era of the Catalyst Way, but also I'm going to share with you my ethos, my list of 10 personal codes that I live by. And maybe this will inspire you to create your own. So join me in this relaunch of the Catalyst Way podcast. Welcome to the Catalyst Way, the podcast for women clinicians ready to clear the chaos and create space to flourish. I'm Dr. Lara Salyer, a former burned out family practice doctor turned mentor, author, and professional calendar whisperer. I help women in medicine reclaim time, trust their intuition, and build practices that actually fit their lives. Each week, you'll get practical tools, creative strategies, and tiny shifts that help you color outside the lines and paint a work-life masterpiece of authentic, aligned joy. Thank you for being here. I just want to start with gratitude. Not a moment goes by where I recognize the importance of time. And this new era of the Catalyst Way podcast is going to really double down on that zone of genius of mine, which is time alchemy. I worship time as a currency that we all share, but many of us just aren't really taught or supported to make good decisions that align with our values in time management. So I call myself like a calendar whisperer, but really it's deeper than that. It's questioning our habits, our thoughts, our desires, our values, inviting us to play, inviting us to learn about our place as women in the structure that is healthcare and the modern medicine woman. That's what this big comeback is about. It's taking you on my journey, but also recognizing we're all walking each other home, as Ram Dass would say, or I might say we're all dancing. And so this podcast is like having a little bestie sitting next to you, drinking coffee or folding laundry or walking your dog. Those are my three examples that recur commonly in my life. And those that are in my VIP closest circle know that that is cherished, sacred time. If you're listening to me and you're doing one of those tasks, as mundane as it sounds, folding laundry, maybe you're doing moober duty and you are chaperoning two teens that don't want to talk to you. So you have my voice in your ears. Well, I just want to say that is sacred time. And I don't take that lightly. I'm honored to have a piece on your calendar. And so many of my brilliant women that I get the honor of working with that are inside my Catalyst studio or that are seeing me in private mentorship with Catalyst Advantage, I hear this over and over again. Your voice is in my head. And again, I'm honored to be one of the many choirs of voices in your head. We all have answers that are locked deep inside. I am no more important than your own voice, but I love being an echo because it's a mirror to what you want deep inside. And this self-inquiry, self-excavation is really important, something I hold dear. And what this podcast is about is helping women reclaim their place of creativity, of sovereignty, of autonomy, and knowledge in the way they want to build their modern medicine career. So let's get started. First, hello, welcome to my new home office. For those that have been listening, you know that I am an ex-burned out family physician who launched her functional medicine career in a rural area almost 8.5 years ago. And then I developed this membership model that took off. And because of other colleagues asking, how do you do it in a market that really was functionally naive? How do you make it work? I started teaching these classes and then started mentoring, and it just sort of grew informally until about 4 years ago, It formally became the Catalyst Studio Mentorship. And now I've expanded where I'm hosting workshops and speaking, and I work for the School of Applied Functional Medicine. So my role as a mentor has been expanded, and it's exactly what I love doing. This podcast is snippets of this. So in here, you'll get the real me. Here's what to expect for this new season. Notes. So you're going to see notes. I'm going to be looking at the screen, right? Sometimes I don't remember facts or stats, and I really want to make sure I deliver the right information. So I'm going to check my notes. But you can be assured this is all 100% authentic me. You are going to get short weekly digestible episodes because we got no time. Women are pulling together the family, however that looks to you, whether you have a partner, whether you are alone, but you are surrounded by community and neighbors and friends and relationships. You are busy. Time is of the essence. So I want these to be short, digestible weekly episodes. You're going to get authentic, real stories that happened through my life, through other lenses of other mentees, women that I have the honor of working with. And I will always change their identity and details because we deserve privacy, but also the lessons that we learn are all universal. Everybody's learning the same lessons. So people's stories may impact you in a way that I never could. And this is really important. We start to see, we dissolve this barrier between women and we come together in community to learn from each other. And that is super important to me. What you also can expect in this new season is immediately applicable takeaways. I really want these stories to resonate. And then I will always end with a catalyst question that invites you into self-inquiry. It invites you to take that step forward even more, deeper into knowing yourself. Because you are that artist of your work-life masterpiece. Only you are holding the brush. Only you know what feels good in this era of your life. And it's this invitation to think differently, to color outside the lines. I also can assure you what to expect this season is a dedication to supporting women in a way as they evolve past antiquated systems, specifically patriarchy in medicine, specifically misogyny. I am here to help cultivate a community of women that believe that the modern medicine woman is a lot more than just RVUs. You've got that commitment from me. And you can expect some witty babble. Sometimes I'm wittier in writing than in person. But you know what? I'm going to do my best. You might hear some dog sounds. You might see me sipping on coffee. But you're going to get 100% authentic me. What you will not see on this season is high fashion. Sometimes you might see the same outfit twice. I am not here to put on a show. So I don't care if I film a couple podcast episodes wearing the same thing in one day, and you might wonder if I wear the same outfit week after week. I think you can do the math. You know how we work. Women are busy. Women are making things work and fit into their schedule. So, you know what? I might even be in my pajamas someday because now I'm at home. But you're going to get this authentic version of me. But what you won't get is also perfectly polished editing. I love my team that does my podcast. But I think also part of this magic of connecting over the internet and over Spotify and Apple or wherever you're listening to me, YouTube, is this feeling that this is authentic. This is not Broadway. This is not primetime news. This is me in my little corner of the world sharing what's happening in real time. You also should not expect commitment. And what I mean by that is I love doing this podcast because I have a lot to say, a lot to share, and there's so much wisdom in the communities that I've held in my Catalyst studio. We meet every week, every Friday, and we are just inventing and shaping the future of delivering holistic medicine care. And I love that. But also, like I tell my kids, if something stops being fun, stop doing it. So I'm committed to doing this podcast as long as it lights me up, gives me glee. I am not committing to being here forever. I'm committing to showing up. and making this as useful for you as possible. Also, I'm going to tell you, you should not expect ego, although I do want to be called out on it because we all have ego, right? But I am no better than anybody else. I hold very, very passionately the idea that we all deserve a seat at the table. Whether you're a physician listening or a nurse practitioner or a PA or a health coach, we all deserve a seat at the table. We all have our own expertise. Even between different doctors, we have our own passions. And that is why I believe medicine has become such a high rate of burnout in a conventional setting. We're not allowed to use our own unique personalities and passions woven into the way we deliver our care. And when we are given that opportunity, we are lit up with a fire so bright that it becomes so much fun to be a healer. So everybody's welcome here. I may use the word physician a lot. That's because I'm a trained physician, but I welcome everybody in healthcare to this podcast. And lastly, what you are not going to see is answers. I don't have the answers to everything, but I do have the answers that resonate with myself in my lived experience and in the ways that I'm moving through the world. And I'm learning about decolonization. I'm learning about privilege. I'm learning about how to reshape the way we take care of humans. But I certainly don't have the answer for you. And that's why I love what I do. By mentoring the style that I mentor, it's about awakening what is the right answer in you. I don't give advice. And even with my patients, I'm learning that I really like to help them cultivate that inner knowledge and walk away with a path that feels right for them. I believe we have the answers inside for our biggest life decisions. We just have to stay quiet, play, self-inquiry, all these tools we develop to tap into that. And that's the most important lesson we can have in our life. Ooh, let's take a quick breather. Do you ever feel like your brain is fried and your calendar is out of control? I get it. That's why I created the Catalyst Advantage. These are private one-on-one mentoring sessions where we come together and help you untangle your chaos, realign with your purpose, and build a plan that fits you. It's like coaching with strategy and intuition and a dash of neuroscience magic. I want you to flourish, and I can't wait to meet you. You can learn more at drlarasalyer.com/catalyst. So I'm going to share with you 10 catalyst codes that I use every day. This is how I live my life. It's sort of my personal ethos. Sometimes I have it included in my speaking PowerPoint presentations or keynotes. Sometimes I flash it on the screen, depending if it's something that would resonate with the residency or the conference that I'm teaching at. I really like having a personal ethos. It helps me feel grounded and also helps me make good decisions, because if something doesn't really align with this, then I know it's not meant for me. So as you're listening to my 10 catalyst codes, which by the way is also how I filter people into my studio, because we are just an amazing group of women. I keep the studio very cozy and tight for a reason. I want everybody to feel nourished and supported. And you can speak with any of my catalysts, and they'll say that's the culture that we've created. It's because they also hold these same ethos. And so if it resonates with you, think of something that also would apply. I want you to use this as a creative brainstorming exercise for you. So number one, I believe in choose your own adventure. I think that's pretty obvious on how I have evolved through the years. I didn't always believe this. I used to think there was one right way. I used to be very perfectionistic, and I still battle those thoughts. But I believe that we have the ability to choose our own adventure. And your colleague sitting next to you going part-time because she wants to stay home with her new baby does not deserve the hate and the shade from the male colleagues. Many of us have felt that, right? Being a doctor doesn't mean you have to have, 5 days a week, 24/7 call. It doesn't mean that you have to be a certain way or fit in a mold. You can choose your own adventure. You can make different decisions. Number two, I uphold mistakes as AFGOs, another effing growth opportunity, because they are. And when we're scared to make mistakes, we're scared to grow. The best lessons for me came out of suffering and grief and mistakes that I made. Maybe missteps, judgment that I thought I was doing that was actually defeating me, right? And so when we're scared of making mistakes, we don't move on the chessboard. We stay in the same square. And that's where we die, on the vine. So please move, make a mistake. I applaud mistakes. I tell my kids, I'm so glad you made a mistake today. I really think that is how we learn. It's bumping up against what we know isn't comfortable for us, or down a path that wasn't right. So we turn. That's the only way to know where to go in life, is to make those mistakes. Make them often. The more you make, the easier it is to pivot, and the more you trust your intuition, because you're giving your intuition data feedback as you make mistakes, or AFGOs, right? Number 3, I believe medicine is a self-expressive art. Creativity is medicine. Healing is art. Yes, we have standard of care. Yes, we have policies. Yes, we have rules. We have licenses. We have to stay in a lane to keep patients safe. But this should be a self-expressive joy for you, a opportunity to weave in things that find interest in your mind, how you take care of families and patients. It should be your self-expressive art for being on this earth. Number 4, I practice flow over hustle. Now, don't get me wrong. I know if you're a med student listening to this, you're probably thinking, okay, this doesn't relate at all, because you are in the hustle mode. There are eras where we do have to hustle, you know, studying for the MCAT, trying to match for your favorite residency, hoping to get your first job, trying to meet the guarantee so you can get off guarantee. I mean, there are so many milestones in a physician's life where we have to hustle. I'm not anti-hustle. I'm just anti-forever hustle. It's okay to downshift. And it's easier to downshift when you understand flow neuroscience, which is why I went and got training at the Flow Research Collective, and how I'm learning to incorporate this in the way that I coach and mentor physicians to use that time alchemy and transform their calendar so they're flowing from day to day, from appointment to appointment, from patient room to patient room. They know how to set up their day so it feels more aligned with what helps them reach flow state. Flow state is so great. It's the only time your brain produces all 5 neurochemicals of happiness. It's phenomenal. So imagine going through a day when you're not white knuckling, when you know exactly how your day is going to go. And then yet, if it doesn't go exactly that way, you have that ease, that flexibility to pivot, to ride the wave of flow. That is the goal. Number 5, I trust intuition as a catalyst for impact. I used to be a very cerebral, logical person. I know I have a book titled Right Brain Rescue, and people always say, oh my gosh, I love your right brain. You're so creative. Sure. Yes. And I'm also pretty neurodivergently logical, very literal. I communicate directly. And so I would analyze a lot of things. When I would make decisions, I would analyze pros and cons. I would have a matrix, go through all these ways to really think about what would be the right way. And the more I realize that it's the lack of intuition that we unfortunately suffer from, some of us, at least me, not all of us, some of us are born with such great intuitive capabilities, and we hold firm to that. I believe we're all born with it, but it's sort of trained out of us. And for me, it was trained out significantly, that I'm still kind of clawing my way back, but I'm getting so much better, and I'm excited to share my tools with you. The more you rely on intuition, the faster your decisions are, the more aligned they are, and the happier you are. So I prioritize that. Number 6, I lead with curiosity, not ego. As you can gather now in my home office with some of my favorite things, my beautiful art, my catalyst inspired artwork. And this is curiosity, right? I believe ideas come from the ethers. You might feel like, is it just neurochemicals? Is it divine? Is it spirit? Is it creative? It's all of it. And when we lead with this curiosity and not this ego that we have all the answers, We leave ourselves open for new ideas, for flexibility, for adventure, and for a most interesting path, as Elizabeth Gilbert would say. It's a game she plays. What would lead to the most interesting path? This is what I invite you to try practicing. Number 7, I design for sustainability, not survival. I want a career, a work-life masterpiece that feels sustainable at my pace, not just white knuckling for survival to make ends meet, to achieve an unachievable goal. I am my own competitor and I don't want to compete with myself anymore. And I invite women to look at the game and the rules and how it's been rigged and recreate your own way that you want to play. Number 8, I prefer creating communities, not hierarchies, as I stated before. Whether you're a physician, a chiropractor, a naturopathic doctor, it doesn't matter to me. You're a healer. You're welcome at this table. Number 9, I do practice creativity daily. And if you're stuck on the word creativity and thinking, okay, I need to pause this podcast, I'm not creative. Yes, you are, because the word creativity, it's really just something new and in your own way. That's it. Like a cover band singing, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. It's still creative because they're going to sing it in their own way. You assembling whatever clothes you're putting on today is creative. Makeup, hair, the words that come out of your mouth, the way that you move your body is creative. The way that music makes you dance or jiggle, the way that you give a hug is unique. I mean, everything is unique about you. And when we start to fall in love with creativity and devote a daily practice to something creative, whether it is doodling or writing or moving, you live a life that is more joyful and flourishing. And who wouldn't want that? And lastly, number 10, we color outside the lines. All of us. That is what I prioritize, is the different thinking, the unique way, the way that we can look at something differently, and all of us have that potential to go outside the box, color outside the lines, think of our lives differently than they have been up till now. And that's what this Catalyst Way podcast is about. This era is normalizing imperfection, welcoming in creativity, giving you small actionable doses, although this is quite large of an episode. We're already going on 20 minutes. And each time, I hope that you interact. I want community building. You're going to hear exciting changes as I start building a Substack and mentoring through that as well, so that you can get little snippets of this beautiful place we have inside the Catalyst Studio with women that are redesigning the future of medicine. I want this to be served to more people. You deserve it. You deserve to have this self-care. So every episode is also going to end with a Catalyst question. And I'd love to hear your answer. If you're watching a snippet of this on YouTube, pop it down in the comments. If this is on social media, hashtag Catalyst Q. That's what this is about every episode. Here's the Catalyst question from this episode. What part of your life stopped being fun? What's preventing you from taking a pause and relaunching your new season? That's your Catalyst question. Think about it. That's why I was off podcasting for a while. In closing, life has been transitional for me, capital T, in every facet of my life. Moving into a new home, respecting an end to a wonderful relationship, but it's not an end, it's a transition to a new kind of relationship with my husband. Moving my parents, 2 aging parents that are suffering dementia. Suffering a slap tear in my shoulder, moving a kid out of college, graduating a kid out of college. I mean, all these things coming at me as a very multifaceted woman, physician, healer. You have your own stories. You have your own pauses, and you deserve to take a pause. So what's keeping you from pausing? What can you put down? For me, it was the podcast for a couple months, and I knew that I was meant to keep going because I missed it. I really did. I missed talking to you, even though you're not talking back. I encourage you to write. Please comment. I love talking to women who are excited about what a new chapter in medicine could mean for them. Okay, so if this episode stirred something in you, please comment below. Take the Catalyst Archetype quiz as well. I want to hear, are you a fervent flame? Are you a wind? Are you, what are you? When we know ourselves better and know how we can get into flow and find our creativity, then we can talk and start cultivating and framing a plan of action for you. So it's so good to be back. I love my home office. I love talking to you. I love being authentic. I hope you do too. So until next week, take care of yourself, keep coloring outside the lines, and practicing that sixth vital sign of creativity daily. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to The Catalyst Way, where we clear the chaos and create space to flourish in medicine and life. If today's episode lit a spark in you, your next step is to go take the Catalyst Archetype quiz. It's fun, free, and freakishly accurate. Go to drlarasalyer.com/create. In less than 5 minutes, you'll uncover your burnout risk, your creative strengths, and work rhythms that energize you. Because it's not about finding a perfect plan, but rather flowing with the one that fits you. Go to drlarasalyer.com/create. And remember, teeny shifts create massive impact. So keep coloring outside those lines.